Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. And, today we're going to be focusing on something that's pretty exciting, and that is
Mm-hmm.
the world of AI
Mm-hmm.
and how it's getting like a serious shakeup.
Yeah,
And this is all thanks to Baidu.
right.
They are dropping these new AI models called ERNIE 4.5 and ERNIE X1.
Uh-huh.
And it's really kind of like watching a tech showdown in real time, with Baidu kind of going head-to-head with some of the giants like OpenAI and Google.
Well, and what's really interesting is that, Baidu isn't just trying to, match what the big players are doing, but they're,
Right.
really aiming to surpass them, particularly in terms of accessibility. And they've made a pretty audacious move to do that by saying they're going to make ERNIE open source by June 30th, 2025.
Okay, hold on. That's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
First off, for those of us who aren't coding wizards, what does open source actually mean in this context, and why is it such a big deal?
Sure. So think of it like sharing a recipe, So instead of keeping their AI model, a secret, they're essentially publishing all the code, making it freely available for anyone to use, modify, and build upon.
Wow.
And remember what happened when Google made Android open source.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it led to this just explosion of innovation in the mobile world, and Baidu is hoping to kind of replicate that success in the AI landscape.
So they're basically saying, here's the recipe for our AI.
Mm-hmm.
Go wild. See what you can cook up with it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a pretty big gamble, isn't it? Why would they do that?
It is a gamble. It's a calculated risk.
Okay.
But, by making ERNIE open source, Baidu is hoping to foster this global community of developers and researchers who will contribute to its development and create this vast ecosystem of applications. And that could give them a significant advantage over, competitors who keep their models under lock and key.
That's a fascinating strategy. So now that we understand the why, let's talk about what exactly are these ERNIE models and what makes them so special?
Okay, so essentially ERNIE models are these AI systems that are trained on massive amounts of data
Okay.
to understand and generate human-like text images, audio, even video.
Wow.
But what really sets them apart are their advanced capabilities and their cost effectiveness.
Okay.
For example, ERNIE 4.5 can process 1 million input tokens for just 55 cents and output 1 million tokens for $2.20.
Wow.
Now, that is significantly cheaper than its counterpart OpenAI's GPT 4.5.
Wow.
And that affordability is a game changer for, smaller companies and researchers who are looking to leverage the power of AI.
Okay, so we've got affordability.
Yes.
What about the actual capabilities?
Yeah.
What can these ERNIE models do that sets them apart from the competition?
Well, ERNIE 4.5 is particularly impressive because of its multimodal capabilities.
Right.
It can handle not just text, but images, audio, and video all at once.
Wow.
And this opens up some really exciting possibilities for creating these richer, more interactive AI experiences. Imagine an AI that can analyze a video, understand the emotions being expressed, and generate a summary of the key points. I mean, that's the kind of power we're talking about here.
That is impressive. But what about ERNIE X1?
Right.
You mentioned two models, and I'm curious how it differs from 4.5.
Sure. So while ERNIE 4.5 is the multi-talented one, ERNIE X1 is the deep thinker.
Okay.
It excels at complex reasoning and problem solving. Think of it as an AI strategist capable of analyzing financial trends, assisting with these really complex medical diagnoses,
Yeah.
or even helping businesses develop innovative strategies. And here's the kicker. It's achieving results comparable to another advanced model called DeepSeek R1, but at half the cost.
So we've got one that's a multitasking creative powerhouse, and the other is a strategic mastermind.
Right.
And both are designed to be more accessible and cost-effective than their competitors.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty bold statement from Baidu.
It is, and it'll be interesting to see how the AI landscape shifts once ERNIE becomes open source. It could be a real turning point in making AI more accessible to everyone.
Speaking of access, let's talk about some real-world applications.
Sure.
How could ERNIE models be used across different industries? Let's start with healthcare. What kind of impact could this technology have in that field?
Well, imagine a world where ERNIE could analyze a patient's entire medical history, their genomic data, their current symptoms, and then compare that information against the latest medical research to suggest personalized treatment options.
Wow.
I mean, it could revolutionize personalized medicine, making treatments more targeted and effective, and that's just one example.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
What about other industries could ERNIE be used in fields like education or business?
Absolutely. In education, ERNIE could power personalized learning platforms that adapt to each student's individual needs and learning style,
Wow.
providing customized instruction and feedback. It's like having a personal tutor available 24/7.
And what about the business world? Could ERNIE help companies like be more efficient or even predict future trends?
Oh, absolutely. One of ERNIE's real strengths is its ability to analyze vast amounts of data
Uh-huh.
and extract meaningful insights. Imagine feeding ERNIE data on market trends, consumer behavior, competitor strategies.
Right.
It could identify these patterns and connections that humans might miss, providing companies with a real competitive edge.
So instead of relying on like gut feelings
Yeah.
or traditional market research companies could use ERNIE to make data-driven decisions.
Precisely. And it's not just about big businesses either.
Okay.
Remember, ERNIE is going open source,
Right.
which means even small startups could leverage its power for things like, targeted marketing or personalized customer service.
This is really making me think about the creative industries. Could ERNIE be used to like compose music or write screenplays or even design fashion?
That's where ERNIE 4.5's multimodal capabilities really shine. Imagine a musician using ERNIE to analyze different musical styles and then generate a melody in a similar vein, or a filmmaker using it to create storyboards based on a script. I mean, the possibilities for creative collaboration with AI are vast.
It's almost like having an AI partner in the creative process.
Exactly. And it's not about replacing human creativity,
Right.
but rather augmenting it, pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Okay, so we've covered healthcare, business, and even the arts. Is there any area where ERNIE couldn't be applied?
It's hard to say for sure. I mean, the potential applications are so diverse, but I think the key takeaway here is that ERNIE represents a significant leap forward in AI technology. Its capabilities are impressive, its cost effectiveness is disruptive, and its open source nature has the potential to really democratize AI like never before.
It really does feel like we're entering like a new era of AI.
Yeah.
But with all this talk of, advanced capabilities, I can't help but wonder, what about the limitations? Are there any downsides to this technology that we should be aware of?
Of course, no technology is without its limitations, and one challenge with any AI system, including ERNIE, is ensuring that the data it's trained on is unbiased and representative.
Okay,
If the data is skewed, the AI's output could be flawed as well.
that makes sense. So garbage in, garbage out, as they say.
Exactly.
Are there any other limitations or potential challenges with ERNIE?
Well, another key challenge is transparency.
Okay.
Even with open source models, understanding exactly how the AI arrives at its conclusions can be difficult. This black box effect can make it challenging to trust the AI's output, especially in areas like healthcare or finance where the stakes are high.
So it's important to remember that AI, even advanced AI like ERNIE, is still a tool. And like any tool, it needs to be used responsibly and ethically.
Exactly. We can't just blindly trust the output of any AI system.
Right.
Critical thinking and human oversight are essential.
This has been a fascinating deep dive into the world of ERNIE. We've explored its incredible capabilities, its potential impact across industries, and even some of the challenges that come with this level of AI advancement. But before we wrap up, I'd love to get your take on the bigger picture.
I'm happy to share my thoughts.
With AI evolving so rapidly, what are you most excited about, and what makes you pause and think, we need to be careful here?
Well, what excites me most is the potential for AI to solve problems that have long plagued humanity. Imagine using AI to accelerate the development of renewable energy sources, personalize education for every child, or even predict and prevent natural disasters.
Wow.
I mean, the possibilities are truly inspiring.
I share your optimism, but what about the flip side? What gives you pause?
What makes me cautious is the potential for misuse. We need to be mindful of the ethical implications of powerful AI. How do we ensure that it's used to benefit all of humanity, not just a select few? How do we prevent AI from being used to create autonomous weapons or to manipulate people? These are questions we need to grapple with as AI becomes more integrated into our lives.
That's a sobering thought. It seems the future of AI is not just about technological advancement,
Right.
but also about responsible development and ethical consideration.
Absolutely. The choices we make today will determine whether AI becomes a force for good or a source of new problems.
This has been an incredible deep dive into the world of ERNIE and the future of AI.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up, I want to ask,
Yes.
where can our listeners go to learn more? If they're intrigued by what they've heard today, are there any resources you recommend?
Well, Baidu's website is a great place to start. They have a wealth of information about ERNIE, its capabilities, and their plans for open sourcing. You can also find numerous articles and research papers online that delve deeper into the technical aspects of ERNIE and the broader implications of AI.
Fantastic. We'll make sure to include links to some of those resources in the show notes. And for those who are feeling inspired to maybe even dip their toes into the world of AI themselves. Are there any tools or platforms you suggest checking out?
Absolutely. There are many online platforms and courses that teach the fundamentals of AI and machine learning. Some popular options include Coursera ADX and Udacity. For those who want to get hands-on, there are open source libraries and frameworks like TensorFlow and PyTorch that allow you to experiment with AI models and build your own applications.
So no matter your technical expertise, there are resources available to help you explore this fascinating field.
Yeah.
And for our listeners who are already deep in the world of AI, what are some key things to pay attention to as ERNIE becomes more widely available?
Keep an eye on how the open source community embraces and develops ERNIE. What kind of innovative applications will they create? How will they address the challenges of bias and transparency? The evolution of ERNIE is just beginning, and it's going to be exciting to see where it leads.
Well said. It sounds like the AI landscape is about to get a lot more interesting
Yeah,
and a lot more accessible.
I couldn't agree more.
This has been the Deep Dive. A huge thank you to our expert for sharing their incredible insights and expertise with us today.
It's been my pleasure. I always enjoy these deep dives into the world of cutting-edge technology.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this exploration of ERNIE and the future of AI. Remember, the future of AI is in our hands. Let's use this incredible technology wisely to create a world that benefits everyone.
Here.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning,
Uh-huh.
and keep asking those big questions. It really does feel like we're at like a turning point, in the evolution of AI. And it's pretty exciting to think about the role that ERNIE could play in shaping that future.
I think what's really remarkable is how Baidu is approaching this.
Right.
You know, by making ERNIE open source, they're essentially inviting the world to participate in its development.
Yeah.
It's a collaborative approach that could lead to some really groundbreaking advancements.
It's almost like they're saying, well, let's figure this out together.
Exactly. And that open collaboration is so crucial because AI isn't just a technological challenge.
Right.
It's a societal one. We need diverse perspectives and voices at the table to ensure that AI is developed and used in a way that benefits everyone.
This has been an incredible deep dive into the world of ERNIE and what it could mean for the future of AI. We've covered a lot of ground, from the technical details to the potential impact across various industries, and even the ethical considerations that we need to keep in mind.
It's been a fascinating conversation.
Yeah.
And I think it highlights how important it is to stay informed and engaged with these advancements. AI is rapidly evolving, and it's going to impact all of our lives in one way or in another.
So to our listeners, if you're feeling inspired to learn more, explore those resources we mentioned, ask questions, and most importantly, stay curious. The future of AI is unfolding right before our eyes, and it's up to all of us to shape it in a positive and responsible way.
Well said. The future is what we make it.
This has been the Deep Dive. A huge thank you to our expert for sharing their incredible insights and expertise with us today.
It's been my pleasure. I always enjoy these deep dives into the world of cutting-edge technology.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this exploration of ERNIE and the future of AI. Remember, the future of AI is in our hands. Let's use this incredible technology wisely to create a world that benefits everyone.
You're here.
Until next time, keep exploring and keep learning.